Hi. Today, sorry to clear my throat. Today, we are going to get the other endings in Silent Hill F. Now, I said that I was just going to go straight for the ending number 4 and then come back for ending number 3. But after thinking about it for a bit, I feel that I'll just go for ending number 3 since I'm already there anyways. So, you know. I think it's this one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do ending number 3 right now because, like, since I have the ability to. Okay, I just want to make sure this is still unpurified. So yeah, I'm just gonna do ending number 3, and then, well, we'll see. I guess, hold on, before I close off, before I cut the video, I kind of want to, like, see how much damage the sacred sword, or the sacred sword does, because apparently the unpurified version does more damage. So let's find a victim. Here we go. Yeah! Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Looks like it's maybe a little bit more than a crowbar. Question mark?
おままごとに入れてって頼んだら入れてくれなかったんだって。
あらあら、気の毒だったね。
ひなちゃんは男の子と遊んでたから女の子のお遊びには入れてあげないって言われたの。
誰そんなこと言ったの？後でお姉ちゃんが叱っとくから。
純子およし、かわいそうに男の子と遊んでただけでひどいね。
女の子嫌い。ひな子は女の子嫌だ。男の子になる。
この子はもっと小さい頃から男の子とも女の子とも遊んでたからね。
昭和って不思議な時代だよね。どうして子供の世界では男女が冷やかし合い互いに拒絶し合っているんだろう。学校でも異性と話をしただけでバカにされたり冷やかされたり、私はそういうのが昔から理解できなくてのけ者にされてた。男子とかくれんぼしたい時もあれば女子とお人形で遊びたい時もあった。でも男子は私を女扱いしてあんまり仲間に入れてくれなかった。女子は私が男子と遊んでるからって仲間外れにすることも多かった。お姉ちゃんはそれをひな子は見えている世界が違うのねって言ってたっけ。でもそんな私にも私のことを女扱いせずに遊んでくれる初めての親友ができたんだ。
おい、それお前の人形だろ。落としてるぞ。宇宙作戦本部応答せよ。新たな巨大 UFO を確認。直ちに迎撃に向かう。
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that. That was different. And we have a different calendar? And the doll's there too. Whoa, okay. Alright, interesting. I was just kind of like blitzing through the house. I was not expecting, I was not expecting a lot to be different here. What? A washing machine flyer? Be mesmerized by a strolling dance washing machine, state-of-the-art electric washing machine for the Housewife Who Knows Best, washing machine of the future brought to you by electronics pioneer Toranami Denki. 29,000 yen. How much is that in US dollars? Like 209? Like, I think it's like $290. That's a interesting. What? Okay. I mean, obviously it says in the thing, like, you know, for housewives, right? It's you know, I understand what it's trying to say. It's just kind of funny. That's all. Can't it be a little bit funny?
Oh. どこにいるの?
Yeah, this is different. The Junko, this is Junko's bed. Sorry, my controller was getting it gets like caught up in weird positions. The cable, so I have to like stretch around and pull it. But yeah, this is different. But it seems to be the only different thing in this version of the room. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Letter to Santa. Oh my god, dear Santa, I've been a very good guru this year, so I would like a ray gun, please, from Shimizu Hinako. Fuck yeah, dude. There have been times when I wished from the bottom of my heart that Space Wars would continue forever, but as we grew older, the Galactic Imperium stopped sending in new forces. We're still proud members of the Space Army and will always be on standby to defend Earth. We'll still call each other partner like the old times. Even if our classmates laugh and say that it's lame, our Space Wars have yet to come to an end. Well, isn't that sweet? Hinako's diary. Just shut up, Dad, and you too, Mom. This is my decision, no our decision. Don't act like either of you gets to have a say in this. I won't become like you. We won't become like you. I know you have ulterior motives. I'm just a pig to you, aren't I? Fattened up and ready for the slaughter. God, I can't read. You think I care about your money problems? Don't try to change the way we feel. Oh. Aaron's request. Hinako, I'm sorry to ask, but could you drop by Shu's house and buy that stomach medicine for me again? Also, please let his family know that I've been getting better thanks to them. Traditional medicine is truly better than all those modern drugs, and herbal remedies are far gentler on the body. Tell them that I'll pay my bill at the end of the month, Mom. Ah, so one of the medications on that list that we found, one of the prescriptions maybe was like for stomach medication. Okay, will this cutscene be different?
マジでそれ冗談だろ。
大マジ。
そんなやつ俺知らねえよ。覚えてもねえよ。第一それが急に今頃になってわけがわかんねえよな。
どうしようか。相棒はどう思う？
それはひな子が自分で考えて決めるしかねえよ。俺が口出しできることじゃねえし。
おかしいよね。それに私女扱いされるの嫌だし、相棒だって似合わないって思うでしょ。
うん。
だよね。私も似合わないって思うし。
そう決めつけるなよ。答えを急ぐな。悪い癖だぞ。もっと時間をかけてゆっくりと考えろ。心を落ち着けて静かに心の中の自分と対話しろ。
そうだな。相棒の言う通りだ。
大丈夫か？また頭痛か？お前は悩み込むとすぐ頭痛に出るな。我慢せずに薬飲めよ。ひどくなってからじゃ遅いんだからな。
買ったやつ全然効かないんだ。
そうか。また俺が見繕ってやるから、お前の体質に合ったやつを探してみる。
ありがとう、相棒。やっぱり頼りになるな。
いいか？どんな選択も焦って選んだら必ず後悔する。じっくり考えるんだ。それだけは絶対に約束しろ。
お姉ちゃんにも同じこと言われたよ。 分かった。相棒、約束する。
Aha. So now we get more of the full story. So that means that the reason why Shu gave us the pills, and well, maybe not the main reason, but like one of the reasons for Hinako's recent headaches is because of the marriage to Kotoyuki. Interesting. Okay. More of the puzzle being pieced together.
開いた。
Ah.
でも何の話だろう。
ひなこ、いるなら返事ぐらいして。しゅうくんが来てるって言ってるでしょ。
相棒、調子はどうだ？
調子って？私調子悪くないよ。
最近学校でも上の空じゃないか。俺たちが話しかけてもぼんやりしてるし、悩みすぎてまた頭痛がひどくなってるんじゃないかって思ってさ。
全然。
そうか。
うん、心配しすぎだよ。ごめんね。お手洗い行ってくるね。
うん。ひなこのお母さん言ってたな。最近隠れて何かを読んでいるって。これがそうなのか。ごめん、タンスの裏になんか見えたんで。
読んだ？
え？
何も読んでないよね。忘れて。週には関係ないから。
何も読んでないよ。というか字なんて何も。
ごめん、帰ってもらっていい？今日は体調が悪いの。
お前さ、
帰って。
分かった。また明日。
So I just want to say I didn't notice it, but the axe, when damaged, you can see like the handle, it's more broken. Just cool. That's all.
私おかしいのかな。心がね、自分でも不安になるくらいにすごく大きく早くおかしくなっていくの。咲子に聞いたらそれは恋なんじゃないかって言うんだけれど、本当にそうなのかな。私が想像していた恋っていうのはもっともっとじっくり温かで酸っぱいんだけれど、ほんのり甘くてくすぐったくて、そういうものだと思ってた。でもね、今の私はそれとは全然違う。これは温かで酸っぱくて甘いんだけれど、まるで誰かに足をつかまれて沼の底に無理やり引きずり込まれるような、そんな感じなの。とても心地いいよ。でもね、なぜかずっと心のどこかで怖さも覚えているの。これは本当に恋なのかな。私だけが特別なのかな。あなたはどう思う？ねえ。いや、わからない。でも一つだけわかるよ。あなたのその気持ちは多分週に感じたものとは全く別の、全く異形の何か。私とあなた、どちらもひな子だけれど、きっとどちらかが間違っている。お願い。もし私が間違っていたなら、 私を殺して、ねえ解放して。さもなきゃ私があんたを殺すから。
So I think it's obvious at this point that masks and the whole face falling off is very, very like important sort of metaphor in this game, or like kind of symbolism. Oh, God, I forgot about you. Scroll of Pity. Rejoice, for you are saved from that world of filth.
リスが丘、私の町。
Scroll of Pity. Rejoice, for you are free from your ignorant, uncultured parents.
不教養かもしれないけれど、
Interesting. Scroll of Pity. Rejoice, for you can dispose of the vulgar name Shimizu Hinako. Uh-oh.
清水の名字も、ひなこって名前も、いやしくなんかない。
Oh, strict mother's letter. Good morning, my handsome boy. I have good news. Indeed, good news to Tsuneki is always accompanied by news of someone else's death. Your father and that woman he kept as a pet have both gotten sick and died. And now your grandfather, the head of the house, has invited you to the Tsuneki residence to make you successor. It is a pity that I couldn't reacquaint you with your father, but at least I was able to make you a successor to the Tsuneki lineage. This door looks special. What's in here? Letter with pressed flower. There used to be nothing I hated more in the world than being forced to live as a proper girl. But when I think of you, I start to wonder if, just maybe, there was a reason I was born a girl. I hope these feelings will reach you like dandelion seeds carried in wind. Oh? What does that mean? Oh, hold on, something new? She's knowledge of medicine. Yeah, that's the same. We've always had this unspoken rule that we shouldn't view each other as boys and girls, so we've always called each other partner growing up. But with time, our bodies slowly developed into that which we rejected. If I start viewing Shu as the man he's growing into, I feel like our precious relationship will come to an end, and the thought of losing him absolutely petrifies me. Shu is also probably starting to have the same thoughts as me, but he still treats me as his partner. I swear that I want to stay by Shu's side as his partner, and not in a romantic way either, but at the same time, there's some strange part of me that wants him to acknowledge me as a girl. I once went to see Junko in the hospital when she was pregnant. Her morning sickness was so bad that all she could manage between vomiting was groaning. Her hands were rough and chapped, and her face looked as though she had aged decades overnight. When I saw her like that, it was as if the sister I adored had disappeared. This is what marriage does to a woman. It makes you end up like Junko. It makes you end up like Junko, like mom. I see. Okay. Oh, another mandate. Hell yeah. Mandate of the clan. A living sacrifice shall be offered every 8 years, for nothing else can quell the wrath which dwells in the waters deep. She shall be a maiden, fair and pure of heart. And the blood which flows through her veins shall be that which has been blessed by the stars and beloved by fate. Let it be known that the most suitable sacrifice shall quench the being's vicious thirst. The duty of fighting such a sacrifice shall fall upon the head of this house. A letter from an infatuated youth. Hinako, Hinako, Hinako. There isn't a day that goes by I don't think of you. Hinako, Hinako, Hinako. How much more beautiful have you become? Hinako, 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 Hinako. You're taking over all my thoughts. I can't tell whether you're a goddess or a demon. Where whenever I close my eyes, all I see is you. I haven't gotten a wink of sleep in days. I keep doubting my own sanity. You're the only one who could save me from this sweet yet wretched hell. You're so precious to me, so lovely, but I can't forgive you for putting me through all this heartache. Hinako, 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 Hinako. Damn, bro, chill. Alright, relax. Just, confess your love in a normal, healthy fashion. One more? Another one, god damn it. I'm embarrassed that I, a boy, was rescued by a girl. Oh, this has to be Kotoyuki. But I can't forget her face. She's all I think about. I can't even focus on my studies. There's one thing I do know is that I can't talk to my mother about this. I wonder if I can run into her again if I hang around outside. Her name is Shimizu Hinako. If I ever find her, I want to call her name and see her turn my way. I want Hinako. I need her. I need her. I want to hold her in my arms. I'll make her my wife so she'll be mine forever and ever. I'll be able to do anything I want when I'm heir. That's what my mother said. If I become heir, then I can make Hinako my wife. Ah, I thought so. Okay. I thought so. I was just waiting for the game to confirm it 100% that the letter of the strict mother, the Tsuneki clan, that's all Kotoyuki. Makes sense. I mean, that's kind of what the game was hinting at, but I was just waiting for like the direct confirmation on it. So that means that the mandate of the clan... Uh-oh. All right, time for everybody's favorite puzzle, the mural puzzle. Oh my fucking god. All right. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. I solved it. Last time I solved it super easy. It didn't take that long. So maybe this time will be the same. Or not. Let's see what this one says now. Okay. The white bird flies free from her cage. Her shadow follows close behind her. Fuck. The fox raises a lantern as he watches them fly away. There's nothing he can do now. Gulp. Well, shit. Okay. So maybe the fox goes here because he's raising a lantern. And maybe now it's these guys? Question mark? Ah! I'm telling you, man, you solve it one time, you can solve it any other time. Once you solve it the first time and understand how the wording is, you can solve it any other time. Oh, new? This wasn't new last time. Yeah, last time I didn't say hold to skip new cutscene, so let's see.
Sa, kimi mo. Dewa, 始めようか。
はい。
これで最後だ。よくここまでついてきてくれた。
一緒だからここまで来られました。
もうわずかの辛抱だ。
はい、最後まで。
There was nothing new there. What the fuck?
なんてしぶとい。そんなにもあなたには未練があるの？
私であって何が悪いの？私はまだ、いえ、いつまでも私でいたいのに。
あなたの気持ちもわかる。不安よね。怖いわよね。でもそれは乗り越えられるものなのよ。
乗り越えるかどうかは私が決めること。誰にも勝手に決めさせたくない。
もう遅すぎるの。あまりに遅すぎる。これは
遅いも早いもない。清水ひな子が決断した。それが大事。お前殺したはずなのに今さら私を惑わせるな。もう遅い。遅いも早いもない。これは決断。清水ひな子の決断なの。決断は私がした。私が求めるものは新しい性。お前は消えろ。決断は私がした。お前が消えろ。清水ひな子に戻れ。
Why is it so loud? Oh my god, it's so loud, man. I'll give my thoughts after I beat the boss, so you know, I'll see you after I beat the boss. Whoa. Nice jump scare.
花嫁にはふさわしくないワイだ。
あなたは一体何者なの？
その言葉はそのまま返そう。君こそ何者だ。ひな子に何がついた。どうやってこの聖域に入り込んだ。正体を見せろ。ひな子
信じてたぜ相棒。お前なら絶対に示せると思ってた。自分の本当の気持ちをな。汚れめ、どこから入り込んだ。ひな子、逃げるぞ。
What the hell?
あなたは何者なの？
Defeat the Shichibi. Whoa, sick, man. Ow, fuck. Oh my god, I cannot dodge shit. Oh, dude, he looks sick. You make me fight ads now? This is fucked up.
作法を学び、学問を学び、全てを収めた。富も家も名声も、君が人の世で一切の苦労をしなくて済む全てを揃えた。
Uh-oh. What do I do? What do I do?
なぜこの思いが伝わらんのだ。
I'm running away. Oh, his color changed. He's got more orange now. Oh, because the fox who bit him was orange. I missed. Can you not? Wow.
私が欲しいもの、望むものはあなたと同じです。
それは何だ、教えてくれ。
私の望むもの、それは自分の性を自分の翼で羽ばたく、そしてその行く末を自ら選ぶことです。
それはどういう意味だ。なぜこの思いが伝わらぬのだ。
Fuck you. Ooh, never mind. Thought I had the juice there. Oops. I missed out on so much free damage, man.
あなたは私に恋し、私をめとるために人生を激しく生きた。私も自らの人生をあなたのように激しく生きたいのです。
女は男の求愛を受けること何より幸福ではないのか。
私の幸福は私が決めます。
気を沈めなさい。
Why do we have to summon ads, man? Oh my fucking lord. Hey, why is I have the thing tripped, right? I'm not tripping. Why is it that whatever? Why is it that like the focus time thing is so like I don't know.
あらゆる努力をした人の世を学び作法を学び学問を学び全てを収めた富家も名声も君が人の世で一切の苦労をしなくて済む全てを揃えたなぜこの思いが伝わらんのだ
Oh mein Gott, bruh.
Soku 何なりと言うがいい
私が欲しいもの望むものはあなたと同じです。
それは何だ教えてくれ
私の望むものそれは
なぜこの思いが伝わらんのだ
Why am I so fucking... Why am I so, like, afraid to press buttons?
あなたは私に恋し、私をめとるために人生を激しく生きた。私も自らの人生をあなたのように激しく生きたいのです。
女は男の求愛を受けること何より幸福ではないのか。
私の幸福は私が決めます。他の誰かに与えられるものじゃない。
羽ばたかずにはということか。何か
あなたの求愛を生涯忘れません。そしてありがとう。
平子、こっちだ、早く。
行きなさい。後始末は私の方でつけておく。
お前と宇宙戦争ごっこで遊んだことを思い出した。だからお前は俺とヒナコの戦友だ。
早く行くといい。私が宇宙人の役になって君を食べてしまうこともできるのだからね。
また会おう、戦友。
男なら引き際も大事か。
大丈夫か？
ありがとう。シュウが助けてくれなかったら私は自分の勇気を保てなかった。
逆だろ。お前が自分の勇気を出したからこそ 俺はお前を助けようと思ったんだぜ。
その勇気を持つのに時間をかけすぎて大勢に迷惑をかけた。
そのためにお前が自分の人生を諦めなくちゃならないってのは俺はおかしいと思うぜ。
ありがとう相棒。それにしてもお前ネクタイ似合わないな。
うっせえ、お前だってそれ似合ってね
うっせえ。
Scary. The fox wets its tail. A hell of your own choosing. The fox wets its tail. A hell of your own choosing. Nothing else matters now. I guess that's a kind of happy ending-ish. I don't know. Okay, let's try to interpret it a little bit. This game has so much stuff to like think about. So if I were to guess, I'm gonna lower the volume here a little bit. So that ending is basically right because they're at the end. Hinako and she were talking about how they look weird in like a tie, or Hinako was saying, you know, she looks weird in a tie and how Hinako looks weird in that, assuming that meaning is Shiromuku, the wedding dress, right? Even though they're, you know, never throughout the game were they shown wearing anything like that aside from Hinako, Hinako in the, you know, Shiromuku form, I guess. So if we were to think about ending 2 and 3, they're basically the same in the sense that ending 2 is basically Hinako going through with the wedding, and ending 3 is Hinako basically eloping, right? It's a day of the wedding, everything's ready, but Hinako and Shu decide to run away, right? Maybe not elope together and become, you know, in a relationship or whatever, but just elope together. How interesting. And then the I was thinking, I was like, this ending seems like happy-ish, but I know something really bad's gonna happen, as we saw there at the end, right? The town of Ibisugaoka suffering from geysers, right? Because we know that the town is built on top of gas vents. Meaning what? Means the water dragon. The water dragon's rage. You know, I guess because we didn't do the, I don't know, puzzle or whatever, we didn't soothe the water dragon to sleep. I don't know, whatever. What does it mean? I don't know. This game has so many like weird things compared to like other Silent Hill games that like even I'm questioning how much of it is like, you know, the physical manifestations of our characters' inner, you know, traumas and conflicts and desires, and how much of it is like actual like mysticism and like mythology occurring. Like, how the hell did they even get, like, how the hell did Shu and Hinako even get back to town? Where is the Dark Shrine? Is it an actual physical location? I don't know. I don't know. Well, we do have one more ending to go through. And maybe that ending will be the sort of final piece of the puzzle in terms of what it all means. And with it, we can maybe put together the story more completely, right? I feel like I can get like a basic idea of like what's going on, but I feel like I need to go back and like rewatch some like conversations and stuff, because there's just like a lot of pieces in this game that are like, you have to figure out like what order to put them in, because like depending on like, I guess, which ending you do, things can get out of order. So it's just a matter of like figuring out the order of operations and like what goes where, right? But if I were to make a guess, all right, if I were to make a guess with what I've seen, right? Well, not a guess, but just like a like what I think the story of this game is. So one thing we need to talk about is the imagery of flowers, right? With the, as you can see on the screen, right, the red flowers, Hinako's sanity meter being flowers, right? In most media, I dropped something, my bad. In most media, flowers tends to be the symbol of innocence and purity. And what I'm thinking is, for some reason or another, this is the part that I'm still kind of confused on. Like I said, I kind of need to think about the order of stuff here. Is at the current moment, Hinako is in the process of marriage, right? Either the game is sort of taking place on the day of, or like maybe a few days before. One of the two. But it's basically Hinako's marriage, right? Through all the letters we've seen in the game and dialogue that's kind of happened between Kotoyuki and Hinako, we can surmise that when, you know, Hinako was a kid and, you know, she saved, well, I guess saved Kotoyuki from the fox after the fox bit him, Kotoyuki fell in love with her and vowed to marry her, which is what we have in here. So how I'm thinking that happened, and I don't know if maybe the fourth ending will maybe see this, is one day Kotoyuki becomes the leader or the head of the Tsuneki clan, right? Through the letters that we've seen of the Strict Mother and the letter that we just saw there in the treasure hall, where it mentioned, or where we saw Kotoyuki's sort of like very I don't know what the word is, I guess irrational kind of love letters, very erratic, where he mentions him being the heir of the clan. So we know Kotoyuki is the head of the Tsuneki clan and wants to marry Hinako, which is what he does. He proposes to her, to which then Hinako probably neither accepted or denied. She seems to, you know, whenever she like is put with like decisions, like she seems to be very like, she just usually is like an I don't know kind of person, it seems. I may be wrong, because even though she does present herself as, you know, rebellious and headstrong, she is also unsure about a lot of things. So I think that being met with like a sudden marriage proposal probably is very like, what? Let me get back to you on that. That or the marriage proposal was sent to her parents. Either or. Either my guess is that Kotoyuki probably went to her parents for the marriage proposal, and then her parents are like, "You're doing this, Hinako. You cannot, you know, you're not going to back out on this." Which would make more sense as to why, like, you know, there's like, you know, the like discussion between like Hinako and her mother and like her mother being like, you know, Hinako, you can think about this a little bit, and you know, she's like, I hate you, stuff like that. So we had that happen. So my guess is, see, because that's the thing I'm thinking about. It's like the order of stuff here is so confusing, because I just think about the first ending and like the police, like the discussion between the police officers where they're talking about a woman in her 20s. It's, you know, and it's obviously like after you beat the second ending, it makes it more obvious that that woman is Hinako. But what doesn't make sense is the fact that she's in her 20s, but we're playing as her when she's obviously, you know, like a high schooler. That's the part I'm kind of confused with. Like I said, like I'm still confused about like the time, the placement of time and things. Like, what does it really mean? Like, we could, like, I want to say that the whole reason why we're playing as Hinako as a high schooler when at this point she's probably an adult is sort of like an idea of, once again, like I said, the purity and innocence that she wants to protect herself, right? That she'll give up if she decides to be married to Kotoyuki. But like I said, I don't understand how that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand the order of things, right? Like, if that's true, then what does the events of the game mean? Is it all in her head? Is it all in her like heart kind of thing? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. But I guess, I don't know, my guess to that is maybe that with this game, there's probably like some things that are like maybe objective and some things that are like subjective and kind of left to your interpretation. So objectively, I have no idea. Subjectively, my guess could be that, you know, Hinako at the time of us playing the game is in her 20s and getting married, but you know, maybe what we're playing is sort of like a dream, maybe perhaps, of like her in her hometown and her just kind of working through her inner conflict, right? Her trauma and things like that. Hell of a way to, you know, do it, but maybe, I don't know. That's the thing, it's like, I don't know. But anyways, so the whole game is basically just us kind of being shown what Hinako's view on marriage is, right? What she thinks like the process of marriage is like. With all the rituals, right? Now, I don't know. The thing is, I don't know Japan, right? And their cultures and customs. So I can't actually really say how much of like the rituals that Inner Hinako goes through are either just like her views on marriage or like an actual thing that they did in 1960s Japan. Especially with like clans and stuff, right? Because, you know, because we have to remember that Hinako is getting married to Kotoyuki, who's the head of a clan. So they have, you know, they probably have like specific like rituals and rites that they perform for marriages. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know Japan enough to like say how much of what we see in the Dark Shrine is just Hinako's own like twisted interpretation of marriage, or is like an actual thing that is done in Japan in 1960 for marriages. You get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, that's the part that's a little bit confusing, but I don't know. But anyway, so the 3 endings we did. So, you know, we go through the game, learn more about, you know, experience Hinako's sort of conflict with doubt, drowning in it. As like the first ending, right? Drown in selfless doubt. Or drown in like endless self-doubt. I think that's what it's called, right? Or that was like the description. Yeah, drown in a bottomless pit of self-doubt. That's why I'm saying like Hinako's like, even though she is a very rebellious and you know, headstrong person. Is headstrong the right word I'm thinking of? I think so. I think headstrong just is a way of saying somebody who's very let me see. Maybe I don't want to accidentally be using that word incorrectly. Yeah. Okay, so I'm using that word correctly. Just wanted to make sure. You know, even though she is rebellious and headstrong against like her parents and, you know, against society, she's still very doubtful about herself, right? And we see that also in her journals, right? Where she's very doubtful about a lot of her own ideals, right? How, for example, with, you know, Shu and his journal entries, how, you know, she's saying like, even though we call each other partner and you know, we don't treat each other, you know, like boy and girl like the others do, sometimes I wish, you know, I forget the exact word, but it was like deep down, I maybe wish that she would treat me like a girl, you know? So it's Hinako's kind of conflict with her femininity, right? Where on one hand, she wants to ignore the societal gender norms, but on the other, she's not 100% opposed to them. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason she has this doubt and conflict is because of the twisted view she has on love and relationships, right? Because of her parents, right? Because of the way her parents are, it's twisted her view on love, right? She thinks of it as, you know, an awful thing. She thinks of it as something that takes away your freedom, your purity, your innocence, right? It's something that she doesn't want, right? It turns you into, you know, it turns you into something unrecognizable, right? Man, when I said that, it's like it clicked in my head. That's probably another thing with the faces, right? With why when we see Hinako's face like fall off in like those two cutscenes in her room when she's like talking with herself, because she believes it'll like make her unrecognizable, right? That's probably why the Shiramuku doesn't have a face, because she's unrecognizable. That's why she views marriage, right? That's like Junko, right? Her journalist with Junko was talking about Junko's pregnancy and how, you know, Junko was old and frail, and she was like, where was the sister I adored? Where was she? Where'd she go? Right? That's a common thing you see in a lot of media. It's like she's become unrecognizable, right? But, you know, the strong, beautiful, loving Junko is now, you know, sitting in bed in pain, vomiting. Her skin is, you know, frail and looks like she aged a couple years, right? Where was the sister that I adored, right? Where did she go? So there's that. It's so a big part of this game is basically the idea of this like twisted desire of love, not just in Hinako, but also in Kotoyuki, right? Because we saw in those like very like fanatic kind of letters, right? How he has a sort of like unhealthy devotion to Hinako, right? He wants to make her his, like a doll. Hence the Fox's Wedding, right? Dolls are happiest when they are loved. So this game, you know, it's analyzing the not idea, but it's looking at, you know, the effects of children who grow up in households that have a very twisted kind of relationship, right? And twisted bad in the sense that it affects the kids so poorly that they have very twisted ideas of love and happiness and relationships, right? To where they have society on one, you know, they have on one hand society that tells them, you know, what love and you know, what the roles that they need to fulfill and what love means and what marriage means and stuff like that. And on the other hand, they have their own experiences, what they saw, and it's conflicting, right? It's like, I don't understand, right? It's very confusing. It's very weird, right? Oh my God, that makes so much sense. But looks like I could be wrong on a lot of what I'm saying, because I am a man, right? I'm not a woman, right? I don't know a lot of the troubles that women go through. I don't understand the aspects of marriage and relationships and love all that well, so it's hard for me to like really speak on these things. So I'm just doing my best based on what I've seen, right? But yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the money. It's more just figuring out what, like I said, it's just more figuring out the timeline of things that's kind of hard. You know, figuring out why you know, why Hinako at the time of the game is an adult, but we're playing as her in high school. I feel like that has to be it, just because it makes more sense that way, because we've seen 2 times now of Hinako definitely being older, right? In this ending, the Fox's wedding, and in the ending credits of the first ending with the police officers discussing a woman in her 20s, who I thought was Junko when I first played it, but you know, after doing the second ending is definitely Hinako. So yeah, and then the third ending, right? I talked about the first 2 basically, but the third ending is basically, you know, a hell of your own choosing, nothing else matters now. If we were to interpret it, I guess we could say that the third ending is, like I said, it's just Hinako eloping on the marriage. That Shu is, so the third ending, we can call it the Shu ending basically, where Shu's influence on Hinako basically, how you say, is very important in this game, right? The way Shu treats Hinako plays more into her side of innocence and purity, in the sense of like her wanting to keep things the way they are, right? And that could be another reason why, you know, the game takes place in like a high school in a town, etc., and are in the town of Ebisugaoka, because it's like we want things to stay the same as they are now. But with this ending and eloping, and I think the geysers could be like a symbolic representation of, you know, because Hinako decided to back out on the marriage, it's basically, you know, it causes mayhem, right? It causes havoc for the Kotoyuki family, for her family. Maybe that's what the geysers represent, is like a, you know, a sort of emotional explosion of the town, right? Maybe the town of Ebisugaoka despises Hinako for, you know, running away from the marriage. Maybe the geysers are more representation of like emotional explosions, right? Anger, hatred, you know, how dare you, Hinako? How dare you, you know, run away, and how dare you elope from Kotoyuki, stuff like that, right? Maybe that could be it, right? Because, you know, if we think about the final sequence of Hinako running back to Chizuria, right, after the house part of the game, right, when you're chasing after the fog beast, one thing Hinako always says is, you know, my town, oh my god, what happened to my town? It's twisted, it's, you know, something like that. I don't remember what she said word for it, but she always, you know, she says like, my town, what did you do? What happened to it? Because the town's changed, right? It's covered in all the red flowers and mass and stuff like that. So same thing, kind of playing to the idea of she wants to keep things the way they are, but of course nothing lasts forever, you know? You can't keep things the way they are forever. At some point you do have to grow up. I don't really like saying it like that, but you have to kind of grow up in the sense that you have to move on. You have to realize that you can't have your way in life forever unless you're rich. But you know how it is. Yeah, so I think that's my ideas for what the game means and what the 3 endings mean. Like I said, there's definitely some details I'm like forgetting, or maybe I'm misunderstanding. So I could be wrong on a lot of stuff, but like I said, I'm assuming that this game kind of leaves a lot of stuff up to interpretation. You know, you kind of make your own assumptions of what things mean, but there could also just, there could be like more objective stuff that I just, you know, maybe I'm, like I said, misremembering. But anyways, we have one more ending, and then the joke ending, right? This is just a joke ending, so nothing too scary. We have this ending. This ending, oh, excuse me. So this ending, we have to see what it means. So we basically just do everything that we did before. So get the red, you know, don't take the red capsules, do the Crimson Water puzzle. Probably don't grab the Agura, just do the puzzle. I don't think we need the Agura to do the puzzle. We just need to do the puzzle. So ignore the puzzle, and then we got to find the secret Jizo statue after doing that, and then we can, well, you know, All right. Well, yeah. For now though, I'm gonna stop here and then probably do that tomorrow because I kind of want to. I still need to go beat Savage Omega and Monster Hunter Wild, so I'll probably do that. But yeah, this game is pretty. This game is pretty cool. It's definitely has a lot going on and it's pretty heavy. But yeah, so let's see what that fourth ending has to offer, and maybe we can put together the pieces of the puzzle more clearly. Maybe we can find. Maybe we'll get some answers in terms of like timeline, kind of what's going on, but that remains to be seen. Anyways, I don't know how long this will be, so I'll just probably end it here regardless of how long. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a beautiful day.